Do you know what the biggest myth in all of martial arts is? Bigger than no-touch knockouts, bigger than nose bones into the brain. The single biggest, most widely believed myth in all of martial arts. I've never seen a video on this before. I don't think I'm the only person to ever think of it. I'm just saying it doesn't get talked about a lot. Frauds, phonies, and fakes in the martial arts world can get you killed. That's it. That's the myth. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't. If it was that bad, we'd have heard about it by now. Now, as soon as I say this, of course, some guy's gonna go kung fu some bank robbery he shouldn't have kung fu'd. But if you watch martial arts content online, or you follow any of this stuff, you've no doubt seen and heard comments, he's gonna get somebody hurt, he's gonna get somebody killed. If you say that, one of two things is true. You're either saying it because you haven't thought it out, or you're saying it because you're extremely insecure. There's a real easy way to tell which one you are. You just have to ask yourself a question. If you see martial arts related stuff and you think to yourself, this guy's gonna get somebody hurt or killed, ask yourself, do I think I could do better? If you don't think you can do better, if you're no kind of martial arts expert or instructor or anything, you just haven't thought it out. If you do think you can do better, you're probably saying this because of your insecurity. I know this better than anybody because that's exactly what I was doing and exactly why I was doing it. If you don't think that you could do better, if you're not a martial arts expert or instructor or aspiring martial arts expert instructor or a pretend martial arts expert instructor, if you don't think you could do better and you just say like, oh my God, that guy's gonna get somebody killed, you just haven't thought it through. And that's fine, that makes sense. There also is a certain logic to it that would make people believe that. That's how a lot of myths get started in the first place, that it seems like it makes sense on the surface, but it really doesn't. In order for it to be true that martial arts frauds or fakes or phonies are gonna get people hurt or killed, it would have to have happened. And I'm sure someone can dig up, one or two little incidents, but if it was as bad as people would have you believe, then we would be hearing about that a lot. Ooh, it instills false confidence that's gonna get somebody hurt. No, it doesn't. No, it won't. Because here's what you need. You need a person who's confronted with a dangerous situation that makes a choice to fight or get involved, and they wouldn't have made that choice had they not trained in the fake martial art, and because they made that choice, they get hurt or killed, and they would not have gotten hurt or killed had they not made that choice, and they would have not made that choice if, I don't know, I'm lost. I can't keep track of the number of variables that have to all match up for this situation to happen. If a guy was so dumb or he was such a jerk that he was gonna get himself into a fight, he was gonna get himself into a fight beforehand. And even really crappy martial arts, like even the worst martial arts, will help you against an untrained person more than not having those crappy martial arts. Like, a person's ability to fight without any training is not better than like the crappiest of martial arts schools. False confidence doesn't exist under stress. The only way someone develops the confidence to initiate a conflict or to fight back or to attack someone or whatever is if they've been inoculated against stress. Because what most people do when they're confronted with violence is they freeze up. So if they train in a fake martial art where they don't spar, they never get inoculated against that stress because they're never exposed to it. So once the stress hits them, or once those punches start flying, they're not going to do things that they wouldn't have already done before they ever trained in whatever fake martial art they went to. So you just haven't thought it through, because it doesn't stand up to even the most basic logic. Like, it doesn't hold up at all. When does that happen? Who did that happen to? Why isn't it happening all the time with as much garbage as being taught out there? Nobody's ever died from Aikido. Like, yeah, occasionally some dudes have gotten into some challenge matches and they got beat up, but the idea that a regular person that doesn't already have some kind of issues is gonna train in something and then say, you know what? I've been taking Tang Sudo for 6 months. I'm gonna go over there and self-defense that dude to defend that fair lady. Like, that's not, he's not gonna do it. He's gonna go, well, I would, but I don't want to hurt that guy. I'm too deadly to spar, so I definitely don't want to. Unless he is a colossal a-hole or he has those mental issues. Speaking of mental issues, if you ask yourself the question, could I do better? And the answer is yes, you're probably saying that they're going to get somebody hurt or killed because of insecurity. To understand what I mean by that, or how I know this, you have to know the origin of this channel. This channel was originally conceptualized as Catfish, but for martial arts. Like the show Catfish. Like, I was gonna seek out potential phony, fake martial artists, and I was gonna actually go to them and confront them. I was trolling people online and calling them fakes and phonies and frauds in an effort to get them to challenge me to fights. And they did, and it was awful. It was dark and crappy and dangerous and a waste of time, and really just a product of my own insecurities. I felt like I needed to like prove something to someone. I don't know what I was trying to prove or who I was trying to prove it to. I wasn't exposing anyone. So a lot of times I take issue when people comment on the videos or talk about the channel and they say, yeah, you're exposing fake martial arts. No, I'm not. And don't get me wrong, that stuff's funny. I like that stuff. I like McDojo Life. I like that. I think it's funny, but you're not some kind of hero. You're not some kind of champion. If you're just pointing it out and laughing and having a good time, that makes you a jester, not a champion. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with entertainment value, but get off of the notion that anybody is out there exposing anything that matters to anyone who cares. Because the people that don't know this stuff are never gonna. Every time you see one of these challenge matches, the guy, the Aikido guy or the whatever guy afterwards, always, he doesn't ever acknowledge that. He's like, I don't know how to fight. I don't know what I was doing. Rokas from Martial Arts Journey was the only person to ever go through that and come out and say, oh yeah, okay, my life was a lie. I was training a bunch of nonsense. And I don't know anything and I can't fight. And his community turned their back on him because he just found out the truth. So the guys that are into this stuff are never going to be not into this stuff. Rokas was an outlier. Even after they've been smashed in the face, most of them will still hold on to some of those ideas because it's connected to their identity. If you want to say hi-ya and spin a bow staff around and have a ponytail and never spar, do you, man. Have a good time. But if you hate that someone does that stuff, it says more about you than it does about them. Nobody in the martial arts world is saving anyone or anything. You're just out there chasing windmills. Some people will be like, but Mike, they're not really learning effective martial arts. Who cares? I take my daughter to ballet. She's not going to use ballet for anything. She just enjoys it. I think people with martial arts live out this fantasy that this need for their martial arts is going to arise and they are uniquely qualified. So yeah, maybe a guy who trains in some nonsense will get himself into a fight here and there, but he probably was going to do that anyway because he's probably stupid and or a jerk. I think you'd be hard pressed to find me a sensible, reasonably intelligent dude who would train in something that wasn't legit and then think it's legit, because if he's a sensible, reasonably intelligent dude, he'd be able to tell after a while that it wasn't legit. I do get that maybe it's concerning that people spend a lot of time and money thinking they are learning how to fight, but a lot of people spend their time and money unwisely. I don't think that they should. I'm just saying they're not going to get hurt or killed because of it. Hopefully not, most likely.